A very good afternoon to all of you. I am Smita Singh Bisse. I'm Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering. I welcome you all on behalf of MOE IMT Engineering Innovation Cell on the presentation Call for Paper Writing and Research Report on Innovation. Yes, a very great initiative with the in hand of IISc, AICTE and MHRD. We had created a Google form on which more than 100 participants have participated, and in that we have selected top 5 students today for the presentation. So beforehand, let me give you a brief description about what is research paper, how the expertise and how the knowledge and innovations are being done in the field of paper writing and research report. Because I believe that this is somewhat where as a student one should lead to, and one should know at least the basic definition or basic knowledge or the know-how of how these research area expertise can be done and required. So let me start out with the presentation. So today that we are going to start out with the call for a paper writing and research report on innovation. So beforehand, what is paper writing and research report? It is nothing but the systematic, articulate and orderly presentation of research work in a written form. It's a research document that contains the basic aspects of the research project. Whatever you're doing, whatever you are like creating any knowledge or creating any topic for that matter, that should be yours and individually yours only. It should bring out the innovative process or the procedure regarding that. Yes, so then comes the next part is that how can we prepare the research report? It is nothing but a scientific paper which is written and published report describing original research results. It must be first publication of your original result. Yes, that is the one form which I will be dealing in the fourth point is that, but beforehand, research report which involves the relevant information on the research work that is being carried out. There was a time when all of these research reports were written in the hand. And now with the much of the advancement of the technology, they are being typed or being computerized. Yes. So that is what the basic information or the basic innovation that you're being carrying out. It should be a well-written documented. It should be proper cited and with minimum plagiarism. The plagiarism, what is plagiarism? Plagiarism is nothing but stealing someone else's ideas. Yes, it is a form of a theft. You are stealing someone else's idea. That is also like it is academic theft. And we all are academicians. You students are in the field of academia. We are in the field of academia. So what it is, we are actually doing a theft. I mean, for example, particularly I presented one topic and it is being published, it is being there in the Google with the Google Scholar or with any of the Scopus indexed document or any of the journal. You find my work, and then what? There are two types of plagiarism. One which you do knowingly, second which you do unknowingly. Yes, because you might not know that if you are simply sometimes what we do, we copy and paste without knowing that this is also a type of a theft. This is also a type of a plagiarism. So what it is there, unknowingly you're doing it, that is also wrong, but that is how we should know about it, that what a research, and whenever you're writing a research, what is a citation or that kind of a plagiarism. So yes, when you are in the field of academia, one should definitely seek forward to this thing, that anything which you're copying, or you should not do that. Or if you're copying or if you're doing it, then it should be properly cited. What is the citation then? That means whatever research that is which is being published, that is there in the form of a serial number that is being there. So what you do is that whenever you're writing a research paper, there you should write one on the top hand corner, and that one in the last slide of yours or the last line of your paper, that is references, there one is cited where you have actually taken the idea or borrowed that idea. Okay, so that is how you do for the research report. Being in the field of academia, you should definitely not do any kind of plagiarism. Yes. So then what are the components of a paper? If I want to write any research paper, or if I want to start out for any kind of the research report, because I suppose most of the students who have joined over here are final year students. So definitely they're going to write their thesis, their graduation thesis. So this is also one kind of a thing, because like when you're doing your graduation thesis, your report will be definitely will go for what? Checking for the plagiarism. And before checking for the plagiarism, the most important part is that you should know what are the components of your paper. It should be titled. What is the title that you are seeking for? What is like authors? You are the author. How many are the people are there with you? Or if you're collaborating your work, so there is first author, there is second author, and there is third author. Yes. So that is, they are what? They are the type of the person you're collaborating your work with. Some people do some work or the other, or in the collaboration of the thing is there. Then your affiliation. Author's affiliation, what does that mean? That is, for example, I'm assistant professor, so my affiliation would be what? Asmita Singh Bisset, assistant professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, IIMT College of Engineering. You, for example, any student XYZ, you are the student of Department of Mechanical Engineering, for example, IIMT College of Engineering. So that becomes what? That becomes your affiliation. Then comes your abstract. Abstract is nothing but it is the essence of your paper. Yes, in the beautiful sense, it is nothing but the essence of your paper. It should not be more than a very long paragraph, or like there are two types of abstracts. One, you write for the research paper. One, you write for the report. For a report, 1 page abstract is more than enough. Yes, for any research paper, a minimum of 10 to 15 or a 20 word abstract is there. It is the essence which tells whatever the knowledge, whatever the results, or whatever the experimental analysis that you are doing, or what is the aim, what is the objective of your paper, that becomes your abstract. Okay, so then comes the introduction. That is what you are going to do. What is the proper methodology that you are going to carry forward? That comes as the part of the introduction. And also beforehand, I'm forgetting, or I'm like, let you know that the basic part of doing any research, or be it any further research paper, or in the field of innovation, or any kind of a thing, literature review. I hope so, my dear students, you must have your mobile phones or laptops or a pen or a paper with you. Please do write it, because it is definitely going to help you a lot. So literature review. What is literature review then? And today I'm in this session, I'm going to let you know all the basic know-how of each of every term. Because if the base or the knowledge that is being created to you, or that is being known to you, definitely you're going to do wonders in your life. Yes. So then what is literature review? It is nothing. For example, I chose any topic for robotics, in the sense of robotics. So whatever areas or whatever work in the field of the research has been done in the robotics from any of the respected or the reputed journals, the robotics area that has been published. So what I'll do is that I'll try to extract it. I'll try to read those research areas in the field of robotics. Yes, so that becomes my literature review. How many papers I have read, or how many journals I have read in through that, or the book chapters that I have made or been mentioned through that. So that becomes the part of your literature review. So I think that before abstract now, there should be a point that is literature review. I'm so sorry, I should have put that literature review, because that increases your knowledge capacity, increases your know-how of that is what you're going to do in the field. Then comes your materials and the methods. Yes, for example, for the final year students, or the students who are definitely going to do in their your projects. So what is the material that you're carrying out? What is the method that you are following? There are different methods for a very simple same topic. There are 10 to 5 methods. What method you are carrying out, that becomes your project. Yes, and if someone else is taking another Y or Z kind of, that becomes someone else's project. Then finally comes the result and the discussions. Whatever the result, or through the graph analysis you have done, sometimes we use some time of the softwares also. For example, you're using MATLAB. Yeah, for if you're using MATLAB, then what, you're programming it, you're taking out the program, then you're using the control for the processes for that. Through the control, you're trying to find out the graph, and through the graph, it is going to let you know that whatever the results are there. Yes, then comes the conclusion part. Definitely, what is after all that your abstract? Huh? What is your aim? That becomes your conclusion. What I want to do is that, why am I doing it? How am I doing it? Yes, how am I doing it comes in your material and the methods. Why am I doing it comes in the part of conclusion. Yes, this is the part of the point that I want to carry forward for my research. That becomes my conclusion. Acknowledgement, definitely. To all of the people that you have seeked out the idea, you should once acknowledge. That becomes a basic ethics. That is the basic ethic. Even every person, if your teachers, your lab assistants, or anyone, or the research papers that you have found out, that because of the references part, you should definitely acknowledge. Even your team members, you should acknowledge. Yes. So then becomes last is your references, that I've already told, that whatever the area that you have cited for, whatever the areas or the knowledge that you have extracted for, you should properly mention it, properly refer it, and properly cite it with minimum to minimum plagiarism. Yes, understanding the topic. Definitely, this is like a wide field. You Google A only and you'll get a lot of results. But what you're getting out of it, you should know the understanding of the topic, understanding of the paper or the research report that you want to do. Yes, that's the very basic criteria. What is the aim of it? What you are going to inculcate from it? Yes, so that is like how quintessentially that topic area should come out of it. That should be like the aim, and the conclusion part should what? It should collaborate. It should mix, and it should let you know. Yeah. Then after that, in between, that is the title to up till the end of the references. But what is the main report components? Yes, so that is the statement of objective. What is the objective? Yes, what is the objective of your paper? What you want to write about it? What is the methodology and the research design that you're seeking for? Yes, whatever type of the research design or the expertise areas that you want to take it, or the type of the data, and what are the resources or the sources of it. Then comes the sampling decision, like for example, for electronics or communication students, or for your CS students, there are different types of the samples collections, data are also being there. So through the graph manipulations, you try to figure out what is the best sample taken for it for your research area. Yes, then data collection methods are there. Finally, that comes the conclusion part of yours. Yes, that is how what is again, why you're doing that particular topic, what is the conclusion of it. Yes, so this is nothing, it is creating new knowledge. By Neil Armstrong only, he said that you're actually creating new knowledge. What is your research is going to let you know about it. That is what in the field of innovation. What is innovation? Invention and innovation, both are different terms, you know that. Yes, innovation is something, for example, I have a bulb, that is being invention. Thomas Alva Edison, that is invention. Innovation is what? Smart bulb. Yes, nowadays you have smart bulb, so that becomes what? Your innovation. A simple example. So Thomas Alva Edison gave out invention, a bulb, and then what we have? Smart bulb, that is in the form of innovation. So yes, thank you so much. This is a brief description about that how we are going to understand the call for the paper writing or the research report on innovation, something, all of these, that is basic know-how that what you should do. And yes, today I've made most of the students that are there. Top 5 students are here who are there in these top 5 students. They are selected for their presentation. So I hope so, students. Singapurapu, Shubham, Ramneet, Navdeep, and Kushal. I hope you're all ready for the presentation. So the first student that I'm calling out is Singapurapu.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, are you ready with the presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So I've made you the presenter. You can share out the screen.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I did share my screen. Is it visible, ma'am?
Yes, it's visible.
So, can I start, ma'am?
Yes, yes, yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is S. Chiranjeevi. I am pursuing BTech final year of mechanical branch. So, I am here to give my presentation about my research snake robot. First of all, I'm going to tell you about the contents of my presentation, which is starting from introduction as common for every presentation, and later on to the history, parts and working, its applications, advantages, and its disadvantages, and later on I'm going to conclude with my point of view on my research. First of all, let me tell you about introduction. Snake robot. What is a snake robot? It is a common question in everyone's mind when they hear about this word snake robot. It is nothing but a robot which resembles snake, which means here you can see the picture of this robot. It not exactly 100% like a snake, but it resembles that. See, major head part remaining a body mechanical connections. So head part control its remaining body and it moves. See, here is a regular definition of snake robot. It is a multiple actuated joints implying multiple degrees of freedom. Here comes the word degrees of freedom, which means snake robot, its body has a different mechanical joints, which means each part contain its specific degrees of freedom. Let me give an example of degrees of freedom. For example, take a rail track and a rail car, which has degrees of freedom as a one because it moves only from to and fro. It does not rotate, it does not move any other way. Its path is defined by the track, so it has a degrees of freedom of one. Another example is robot arm, which has degrees of freedom 6 because arm can rotate and it also move forward from to and fro. It has a different degrees of freedom. Snake robot, it has a superior ability to flex. It can reach to very difficult positions where human cannot reach. I gave a definition about degrees of freedom. So next, in order to know about a thing or a robot, first of all we need to know about its history so that we can get a better clarification. As it is invented in the past, we need to do innovation in present. So in order to do that, we first need to know about its history. First of all, the basic where snake robot is came from is this arm which looks like an elephant trunk, so it is named as elephant trunk arm. It is invented by VC Anderson in the year of 1968. At that time, due to this invention, he was also named as the Scripps tensor arm. See, this robot, in between these black discs, there is a springs like structure, and in between there is a nylon wire. See, you can also see that. With this wire, you can control this arm in its movements. See, in 2005, later on, after the inventor, they did not get his idea to full-fledged, so they kept it aside. And later on, in 2005, it came to existence, and many people got its attention. In 2013, scientists named Huai Chosette invented a snake robot. Recently, in 2017, Sars Crop, a company, invented a guardian snake which looks like a snake and it's a robot. And nowadays, in many universities like University of Toronto, Cornell University, Carnegie Mellon, Clemson, Mississippi State University, University of Nottingham grabbed its attention on snake robot. They are training a various ways to innovation of this older invention. See, now I'm going to explain you about parts and working of my snake robot, my idea. See, on right side, you can see the diagram of a snake robot. See, it contains the basic parts of electronics, microcontrollers, and its sensors, motors, gears, and camera. First of all, I will give a brief explanation about electronics. Each snake robot has a major head. It contains electronics. It is a just you can think about like a small computer which control its whole body. It is small each module. So microcontrollers. These are tiny these interpret signals which sent by the head to the remaining body and move according to those signals. Sensors are very common in nowadays. Sensors are used in majorly in cars for parking, so we can without seeing back you can observe what is present close to us, so we can stop the car and move forward and all. In the same way, sensors are placed at the each part of the body of a snake robot. See, it can give a signal when it reaches to a hard For example, it's moving going underground. See, in underground, we didn't know where the rocks are present, where the hard substance is there, where soft substance is there in order to move downwards. So it can give us a signal. So there is some kind of thing in front of this, so we can change its direction to right side or left side wherever it can move easily. Later on basis of this motors, it moves forward and backward, and it also rotates each parts. Gears are used for movement very fastly or slowly. Hinges, it gears are used also used to wrap around the things, which means like there is a tree trunk. Our snake robot can wrap its body around this trunk and move forward and move upward. The camera is a eyes of a snake, you can think so. See, with these eyes we can see, these act as the eyes of our own. We can see things where human cannot see by normally from outside. See, this can reach a smaller places and show the visual inside it, how it is there, what is the present, what is the situation under there, so we can control our situation outside also. What are its applications? See, snake robot is majorly used in rescue missions. For example, many terrorist attacks are done so far in the past, and we cannot know what will happen in our future. For example, take a prediction, there is a terrorist attack in some kind of big hotel, so we don't know what's the condition inside the hotel. We can send a snake robot which not visible, there can be a bit clumsy in there, so we can send our snake robot by closing in a different direction, so we can assess the inward situation. What is the situation, how many people are there, how many terrorists are there, how many guns are there, so we can need to prepare ourselves and we can make our rescue machine. In firefighting, for example, take a five-story building or something, it's caught on fire. We don't know what's inward situation, there is a huge amount of fire and high temperature where we cannot reach and we cannot put it off immediately. So in order to take the situation into our hands, we will send a snake robot inside, so we can see the assess the situation, where is the weak point, means where we can break through inside, take a door where we can break easily inside and save the rescue the people who are inside. In snake robot, it can also enter very narrow places where human hand, each even our finger cannot reach. We can make the snake robot teeny small size, it can reach very small places and very dangerous places where human cannot operate, but snake robot can sustain in such kind of places. Snake robot, it is also used in military appliances such as spying. For example, take our neighboring countries like Pakistan or China, where nowadays a hot topic is a fighting between India and China. We don't know what they are up to, what they're able to do, what they're going to do in our future about us. In order to know the next step, we can spy using snake robot. So we can take our precautions in order to avoid those next steps. It can also climb trees. For example, if we got misplaced, some we forgot the way where to go in some kind of forest, so you cannot reach, you cannot easily climb trees to the peak point and see what is our surrounding. In such kind of conditions, you can send our snake robot, it can wrap, see our snake robot wrapped around the branch of a tree, it can move forward in this position without falling down. So no problem, we can send our snake robot to the peak position and see our surroundings up to 1 kilometer, up to which we can see, and we can assess how many people are there, where there is a campfire, so we got a campfire in our camera, we can, yeah, this is my place, I can go now very easily. See, it is also has a huge hit in biomedical department. See, recently in my real life I saw an operation, they are maintaining operation inside a patient, they're cutting some kind of a tissue. As a highly intellectual doctor, even though he doesn't know what is going to be happen inside a body without watching inside, so human body we cannot easily peek into our body and see what's happening. In such kind of conditions, along with his tool, he connected a small robot, like just it looks like a snake, a very small snake. He had consists of a little bit of camera, it is connected to a big display outside. So as he is going inwards with his tool along with his camera, he is getting a visual in his display TV what happening inside his body. So he conducted his operation, which is a huge success. What are the advantages of a snake robot? Snake robot major advantages is majorly for spying, and it can also enter very small places where human cannot enter. It has a high mobility, which moves just like a snake. See, snake's movement is also called as serpentine motion. which is now in fancy words they are saying undulation, which is nothing but a serpentine motion. This is a strong type of motion where snakes can move very fastly. In the same way, our robot can also move very fastly. In another advantages is our snake is made up of different kinds of mechanical joints. If the end part, a middle part of a body got destructed, yeah, some kind of damage, our snake robot doesn't stop working. It can move forward with its head part. So it is a major type of advantages of a snake robot. It is a low expensive, so we can make easily by our own ideas and less kind of things. What is major disadvantage is it is a remote controlled snake robot which required highly skilled person in order to control its movements, in order to predict its movements. So it is very hard to control. And also this major disadvantage is it cannot move on its own. We need to control from outside. It is also a major disadvantages of this. what I think what I think about my snake robot, about this research is, now it is just a remote control robot. It cannot think on its own. What I think is in coming years, many scientists are trying to maintain their research and make a snake robot with its own intelligence, like artificial intelligence, something robot like a Sophia, which is not Sophia. It is not 100% artificial intelligent robot. Human need to control it, make it start and off, but it can think on its own, it can move on its own. Just like that, I want the snake robot to move on its own. Just like it is moving forward, it got an obstacle, it can access the direction whether left or right, it can move forward or backward. In order to, in such a way it can adapt to those conditions and move in such kind of conditions. I read many pages with these references: Wikipedia, HubSpot, ASME.org. I got this idea. Thanking you. Any questions you can
Okay, that's
ask?
really a very great presentation. Thank you, Singapore.
Thank you, ma'am.
And also, like, this is also one of the great innovation and the invention in the field of robotics, because nowadays snake robotics is the one that every industrial area or in the field of like defense also we are
Yes,
using snake robots a
snake
lot.
robots.
In
Yes,
the
ma'am.
field of medical applications also snake robots are being used, especially in the field of navy or like undersea operations are snake robots that is being used. So
Yes, ma'am.
yes, thank you again. So this is like a very overwhelming topic and also very new presentation way to let all of the attendees to know. Thank you,
Thank
Singapore.
thank you, ma'am.
Now we have Navdeep Singh with the topic of prosthetic limbs. Navdeep. Navdeep, am I audible to you? Voice is not audible. Hello. Okay, meanwhile, you check out your connection. Next, we have Ramneet Kaur. Ramneek, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Kushal, are you ready with the presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sure. You may carry on with the presentation.
Okay, ma'am.
So Kushal's topic is low cost and highly efficient automated personal assistant bot using IoT.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to thank IMT for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Myself, Kushal Sharma, UG student, CSC department. This work is co-authored by Kundan Kumar and Mohammad Shadab Sheikh, UG student, CSC department, under the supervision of Dr. Indradeep Verma, Associate Professor, CSC department, IMT College of Engineering. I am presenting my research paper on the topic low cost and highly efficient automated personal assistant bot using IoT. A robot that helps us with day-to-day household tasks, making our life easier, is known as personal assistant bot, which is generally made using IoT, Internet of Things. It refers to a system of interrelated internet-connected objects that are able to collect and transfer data over a wireless network without human intervention. Generally, the prices of these personal assistant robots vary from $100 to $1,000. The personal assistant and business possibilities are endless in IoT, which inspired us to research in this field. Problems with existing personal assistant robots. High cost. The bots available in internet market by various MNCs are very costly. Everyone cannot afford the personal assistants available in market. A cost-effective solution has to be developed to overcome the situation with basic features. Needs high computation power. Machine learning models, algorithms, and artificial intelligence technology requires high computation power, which increases the cost. Bluetooth. Most of available devices use Bluetooth for communication, which causes slow speed, less range, security issues, and compatibility issues with devices. Third-party apps. You need third-party apps to control the robot, which is not compatible with all the devices. Inability to climb small heights. Available personal assistant robots cannot climb small heights due to their design. They can get easily rolled back. Hypothesis. Is Wi-Fi connectivity a better way of communication with bots? Can Arduino and Raspberry Pi be replaced by ESP32CAM or any other microprocessor? Can rocker boogie suspension wheel mechanism be used with 6 wheels to allow bots to climb smaller heights? Can we use Wi-Fi, which helps to build a cross-platform way to control the robot? Is a low-cost integrated circuit of camera, Wi-Fi, and a microprocessor is efficient? Literature review. A prototype of personal assistant is developed using Raspberry Pi. A bot is also developed using ARM LPC2148, which can be personal assistant to Pub. A personal assistant is designed and developed using both Arduino and Raspberry Pi to use machine learning for decision making. Many personal assistant robot and spy bots are developed using Arduino and controlled using Bluetooth. A Mecanum wheel robot is designed which can be controlled using Bluetooth controller or Wi-Fi and can move in any direction in the plane. A robot is designed using Arduino, which consists ultrasonic sensor to avoid collision and can be controlled using Wi-Fi over a large area. A water surface cleaning robot was also developed using HTC12C5-based60S2 as a main controller, a cleaning module and Wi-Fi module to communicate and send commands. Methodology behind our design robot. ESP32CAM is used for brain of personal assistant bot. ESP32 is Extensor dual-core 32-bit LX6 processor operating at 160 or 240 MHz, having 520 KB SRAM and comes with 34 GPIO pins, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth modules. ESP32 chip supports security features like secure boot and flash encryption needed to implement real production-ready Internet of Things smart devices. And interestingly, it now also has support for machine learning at the edge with ESP-WHO framework. The ESP32 developer kit is actually cheaper than Arduino Uno, which means that we get a more powerful board for a lower price. 6 150 RPM low noise dual shaft BO motors are placed on the wheels of bot, which are fixed to chassis, which are made of acrylic board. H-bridge is used for the movements of robot in forward, backward, right and left directions using L298N motor driver. 6 motors can be run simultaneously. Robotic arm is also designed and made on acrylic board, having 4 SG90 servo motors, which are connected to the arm to make 4 degrees of movement of robotic arm. Once ESP32 can get connected to the Wi-Fi, whose SSID and password can be entered while coding the robot. After getting connected, ESP32 will host a web page on the local host. And the live stream of camera along with other controls options like face detection, face recognition, and other features of cameras can be enabled and can be used on that local hosted web page. The ESP-WHO framework takes QVGA images as input face detection and is implemented using MTCNN and MobileNet and will return the position of any face in the image if it is present. Implementation. We have used ESP32CAM version. In this ESP32CAM version, the camera pins are all together so that we can easily connect. And one motor driver is connected through which 6 motors are connected, external power source, and 4 servo motors for the robotic arm. And one camera is attached to ESP32CAM board. In this, we have 2 modes. First is manual mode and second is automatic mode. In manual mode, the movement of the bot is on the basis of commands which we grip through our local hosted web page. And in automatic mode, when we can when we turn on the automatic mode, Then there is the one training mode. In training mode, when we give the command, all commands get saved in the same sequence and same manner. And after the stopping of training mode, we can start automatic mode in which we can run all these saved commands n number of times in the same sequence. And it will be stopped when we stop the automatic mode. Results. Here are the results of the robot we have designed. It is a 6-wheel rocker bogie suspension mechanism wheel robot with a on which a 4 degree of freedom robotic arm is attached on it, and it can climb small heights more than 90 degree of angle it can climb, and it will not roll back due to the support. And every time 4 wheels will be on the base so that they provide the support to climb the robot. Conclusion. A multifunctional personal assistant bot is designed and developed which can perform multiple operations like picking up objects using robotic arm, moving around, and climbing small heights due to its design. TCP/IP web app is used to give commands through Wi-Fi and guide the personal assistant bot to perform actions. Live footage of camera is mounted on the bot and can be streamed using web app. Acrylic sheets provide strength and finishing to the bot, which can help it to become spy bot if situation demands so. The design prototype will work successfully with high accuracy and can be incorporated for present and future practice. Future scope. Voice assistant can be used that uses natural language processing to interact with the user and take natural sentence commands. Spy mode can be used in which bot will look like it's in a sleep mode and record the live footage of camera. A mic can be attached with camera to hear things and will also be very helpful in spying as well. Port forwarding can also be done to access port from any network and any position. A memory can be attached to memorize all training so that it can be used anytime. Gripper can be replaced with flex-shaped gripper, Presto. It is a gripper which has properties of chameleon tongue. This gripper can take any shape according to the object. Thank you. If any questions, anyone can ask.
Thank you, Kushal. That's really very well presented and such a conclusionized way of like everything is in the very proper format. With you have given out the literature review that is again the very important aspect if you're doing any kind of the presentation. You have given the research methodology as well as you have properly cited out the flow chart as well. Yes. So again, thank you, Kushal. That's a very well presentation you have given.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this opportunity. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Next, we have Navdeep Singh. Navdeep.
Ma'am, am I audible now?
Yes, you're audible now. You're very much audible. You can share the screen with the presentation. Yes, your presentation is also visible. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Navdeep Singh, a student of mechanical engineering, 4th year at
Navdeep, just do
IMT.
F5 before starting. Do F5 or here you can see the slideshow. Then start. Yes.
So, I'm Navdeep Singh, mechanical engineering, 4th year, IMT College of Engineering. So today I'm going to present my research report on innovation in the advancement of prosthetic limb technology. So in the recent advancement due to the automation and the robotic sector, the prosthetic limbs are being developed, which can be used by amputees to regain the functions of their lost limbs. The prosthetic limbs provide all the functions of a natural limb, so that the human can perform all the tasks that he was not able because of their missing limbs, so that they can perform their daily tasks without requiring any help from any other person. So in 2016, Johns Hopkins University started a $120 million project called Modular Prosthetic Arm. It is a bionic arm which is controlled by the thought of the user. So the brain signals are detected from the spine and then they are transmitted through a computer guided program to the modular limbs. And before that, the prosthetic limbs that were available in the market were pre-programmed devices which have to be operated by the user using other limbs so that he can perform the required tasks. But in 2020, a company named Open Bionics developed a 3D printed bionic hand, which can be controlled by the electrical impulses in the forearm of the users. So these are the technological advancements and the modern technology in the prosthetics industry that is being used. So the thing that I have researched is that a prosthetic limb should provide all the functions and the motions as similar as to that of a human arm. So while comparing to the modern prosthetics to the that of a human arm, the bone provide the base structure, and in prosthetics that are being developed, hydraulic or robotic actuators are used as the base on which electrical circuits including motors are used to provide the function of that of muscles and as that of nerves in the human limbs. And the missing part and the absence of element that is provided by the exoskeleton of the muscles, that is the missing element in the modern prosthetic limbs. While performing any activity using the human limbs, human muscles provide primary and secondary movement to provide the required transition of motion. Ma'am, can I use the camera? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. You can use the camera. You can open your camera, no worries.
Um, Actually, I just wanted to illustrate something. While consider a motion of a human limb, if I'm moving my hand from this position to this position, you can all see that the center of motion is this point rather than the elbow. So the prosthetics should be developed in such a way that the center of motion is that to the same that provided by the human limbs. Only then then the user will be able to sorry for
No.
only then the user will be able to perceive the prosthetic limb as that of the his original limb, which is very important because we are developing the prosthetic limbs to replace the human limbs. So the human body is the most complex structure in the entire earth. So to provide the same transition of motion, it is very important to develop a mechanism similar to that of the muscles provided in the natural body. So in modern advancements, smart materials and artificial muscles are used to provide the function of the muscles, but they are very but this technology is in still it's infancy, and these materials are very hard to synthesize, and they are in development. So it is not possible for the coming years to incorporate the smart materials and artificial muscles in the robotics, but different mechanical mechanisms can be incorporated with each other so that they can work together to provide the same transition of motion as that of provided by the human muscles, so that they can give the same feeling and the same sense of motion as that provided by the human limbs. The prosthetics are aimed to replace the function of human hands. It is very important for the prosthetics to provide the same transition of motion so that they does not give any discomfort to the user that is using the prosthetic. in my view, it is very important for today's technology to incorporate these things into the prosthetic technology, so that to give the user a sense of fulfillment and completion, so that he does not have to depend on any other body, any other people to perform little tasks which he can perform without any help. Thank you.
Thank you, Navdeep. That's a really very great innovation topic. Yes, a prosthetic limb. Nowadays, definitely with the replacement of the human hand or in the development or the advancement of the human arm, because this is the very first thing, human arm, that was the very first that was used in industrial robots. Yes, so yes, definitely a lot of research has been done. Again, Navdeep, a very well presentation. Thank you again. So
Thank you
next
very much.
we have Ramneek. Okay, thank you. Next we have Ramneek Kaur.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm sharing my screen now.
Yes, Ramneek, you can. Ramneek, do one thing. Just minimize the Microsoft Teams, the block which is coming. Mm,
Yes,
yes,
I hope
yes,
it is visible now.
yes. Now it is
So,
very much visible.
okay, my name is Ramneek and I am from Computer Science branch, and my topic for presentation today is artificial intelligence, a field which is growing very fast and taking a great place in the market. During this presentation, I'll cover some topics like what is artificial intelligence, its history and comparison of human versus AI, the languages which artificial intelligence use, and its current status. We'll also discuss about its future, its pros and cons. So, to begin, we'll see what AI actually is. It's written that it is, we have a definition that it is a study of computer system that attempt to model and apply the intelligence of the human mind. Simply stating, artificial intelligence is the endeavor to replicate or stimulate human intelligence in machines. It is to add human behaviors in machine. Isn't it cool? Like there are machines and robots and they behave like humans. So now moving forward, we have some popular examples of AI which we use in our daily lives. We have Cortana, Siri, Google Assistant, and there are so many examples of artificial intelligence which we use. Moving forward, we see what is the history of artificial intelligence. We all feel that artificial intelligence has emerged recently and it's taking a great place in the market, but it is really amazing to note that artificial intelligence existed in 1950s. Like in 1950, the Turing test was developed by Asian Turing to test whether human intelligent behavior can be used in machines or not. So 1950 was the first time when artificial intelligence came into existence. In 1955, an American computer scientist coined the term artificial intelligence. And then in 1961, the first robot was introduced. In 1965, Eliza, the first chatbot, came into existence. And then in 1997, we had first chess game by IBM's Deep Blue, which came. And now it has taken a great place in the market. So why do we use artificial intelligence? Why AI is taking a great place in the market in everything which we use? Like in daily life, we use so many machines, we use so many technologies, and AI is taking a great place. Why is it being so important? Because it is making our task very easier. We have computer vision, AI can communicate, it can do programming, we can play games using artificial intelligence, and it's greatly used in the field of medical science. To see a looking at a great example, like there in medical field, we have so many tests which artificial intelligence, which robots perform, which machines perform, which we do not have to, as human, have to perform that tests or of patients, and it is more accurate. And now it is taking a great place. So there are so many jobs which are which are taking the place of human and being replaced by the robots and machines. But it can never be replaced. Like we can see that whichever efforts we can take to teach robots, humans can never be purely replaced by humans, artificial intelligence, by robots, because they do not have the thinking capabilities like we do have. And there are several languages which artificial intelligence uses, like IPL, Smalltalk, Python, Lisp, and Prolog, and they are really growing in the market nowadays. Moving forward, we come to the power of AI. We see that it has a great power in industry, like computing power, the tolerance power, the intuitive power, and we also have judging power, the decision making power, which the robots and machine have. We provide the data, we train our machine, and yes, it's done. It emits the behavior of human beings. Looking at the current status of artificial intelligence, it has taken many shapes and forms over recent years. Like we see in mobile phones, like we have Siri, Cortana, we have Google Assistant, we have we see the video game characters which are using artificial intelligence. Then we have voice recognition or GPS. We can say it has taken a great place in robotics. Now, if we see the future of AI, when it comes to the future of AI, there are infinite possibilities. Like artificial intelligence can be used in automated transportation, and several works and several are being going on and have even succeeded in automated transportation. Then disaster management in the field of active scheduling and doing your homework, which is quite. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Ramneek. That was a really very well presented. And AI, artificial intelligence, we humans are blessed with what brain, and that is the most important, that is decision making power. And with the advancement of it, now we are what inculcating that decision making power or that human intelligence into the robots. And that what makes artificial intelligence. Yes. So thank you, Ramneek. Next, we have a team of Vaibhav and Shubham with the topic Advanced Phase Lock and Automation. Shubham, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very well. You please share the screen with your presentation.
Wait a second, ma'am.
Your screen is not visible yet. Yes, now it's visible.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, all. I am Shubham and my friend Vaibhav. We are from Electronics and Communication Engineering Department. Today, we are here to present our project, which is Advanced Face Lock and Automation, in the guidance of Dr. Abhishek Sharma, sir. So let us start with the topic. So these are the contents of our projects. We will start with our introduction, then objective, innovation, and progress report. So in the introduction part, as we know that many home devices now have Wi-Fi and can interact with other home devices, smartphones, applications, and home computers. An issue is that these devices cannot communicate with each other or require an additional device to do so and need an individual application on the smartphone to be controlled. A much better option is to unify these devices into one program device that control them. As an example, one can control light, microwave, oven, TV, air conditioner, and door locks through one application on the smartphone. This gives the consumer more control on their home. For example, it allows them to set the lights conditions, for the when the lights should be turned on, or if they are on the way to home, to preheat the oven before they get home. Therefore, home automation can simplify many manual actions. In this project, we will creating a new generation of smartphones. We can control home appliances. The main objective is to control door lock. This project also aims to develop a prototype of locking and unlocking a door with the help of face recognition system. The end goal beyond the project would be a product that would capable of allow people connect to many other home devices through Wi-Fi. The main objective is to develop home automation system which allows people to control household appliances through a smartphone application. Currently, it is been focused on lock or unlock a door. This is achieved using a central device, which is a microprocessor controller that connects to the door. This project also aims to increase the pins of microcontroller because we have very limited amount of input output pins. Basically, as we know that any kind of a microcontroller has very limited amount of GPIO pins. By that, we can control very few input-output devices. In the innovation part, we are using ESP32 cam that is used to take pictures on who is at the door, which are automatically sent to the server. It will connect it to the internet and receive order to control the lock. The use of shift register which will increase the inputs of ESP32 cam drastically. As we discussed, the controller has very limited amount of IO pins. So by use of shift registers, we can control more than 500 appliances on a single microcontroller. Now, nowadays, people are using 2 or many controllers to control these amount of appliances. Now, for the further slides, I would like to invite my friend Vaibhav.
Good afternoon, all. I am Vaibhav. As my friend Shubham already told about our project's introduction, innovation, and objectives. So now let me explain our project in the brief. To understand it easy, we divide into 3 phases. First one is the low-cost advanced security system. It means whenever a person encounter on the door, of industry or a home, it will check is this person is known or unknown. If it will be unknown, then it will send him image to admin via server. And if admin allows this person to enter in the industry or the home, then the door will automatically open, otherwise not. And it will automatically store him data into server for the next time. And if in future it will encounter, the door will obviously open, but an acknowledgement sent to the admin also for the this is for the security purpose. And our second one part of our project is AI based HVAC regulation. In it, whenever the admin will be in the range of 1 kilometer or like home or industry, it checks the weather and turns the AC or heater according to it on. And the third one part of our project is a drastic increment in the digital output pins of any microcontroller for controlling up to 500 or more home appliances like light, fans, blinds, etc. As we know that every microcontroller has a finite number of output pins. So whenever we want to control the appliances more than the number of finite pins of the microcontroller, that will reduce the price of our product. And these are the components used which we are using in our this type of products. So first one is the ESP32 cam, and these are the features of ESP32 cam, in which some of specific are it has the inbuilt VLE, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi to connect with the internet, and it also work with the UART, SPI, I2C commands. And the most advanced feature of this ESP32 is that it works on 160 megahertz frequency. That is very fast for such type of controlling such type of controlling equipments. And these are some of other features of it. And second one is the 74SC595. Basically it's an 8-bit serial in parallel out shift register with an operating voltage of 2 to 6 volts. Basically this IC or this chip is used to increment of the digital output pins of the any microcontroller. And these are the basic components like we are using in our projects. And again one other thing is we are using in our project in the in software. One is the Arduino IDE to program the microcontroller, and second one is the server where we can store our information for the future. And in the end, we are about to discuss the applications of our project. So first one is we are use this type of products in the industries where smart lighting allows you to control wall switches, blinds and lamps. And by this type of products you are able to schedule the time lights should turn on off, decide when room should be illuminating or not. Second one is we are using in kitchen appliances like micro ovens and etc. And third one is HVAC regulation, as we already discussed in our previous slides. And third one is the security system. So that's all about its application. So finally, it is demonstration of our project that we have completed till now. So you can see in the video. In this video, whenever we will press any switch on the mobile screen, these lights can control, and these lights can control only with the 3 pins of the microcontroller. We are using here only 3 pins, and the lights are approx 30 lights can be controlled by only 3 pins. So here is the little bit demonstration of our project. So, and next one is references, and thank you. That's all about our project.
Okay. Thank you so much, Vaibhav and Shubham. Definitely nowadays we seek for much of the security, and that security, when it comes in contact with the technology, that becomes the advanced face lock. Yes. So thank you so much again. And I, Asmita Singh Sen, on behalf of IMT College of Engineering, I thank you to all of the participants over here. Kind patience. If anyone has any query or the research report on innovation to ask. If we do not have any query or the doubt, that's very great. I hope so. You have enjoyed the session, and also like this is the recent advancements that are being done in the field of innovation and invention, in the field of research and development. So yes, I again thank you all of you for joining the session and joining it in the very peaceful manner. Thank you again for joining the quintessential session. Thank you all.